Well, this is what we got for the project today. We have this old railroad cotter pin, one railroad spike, some chain, and 2 horseshoes. I plan on making a Western style door knocker, so if that's something you're interested in, follow along and we'll get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hook up the 4.5-inch angle grinder, put on a cutoff disc, and take off these horseshoe nails. After that, we'll cut off this end right here, this little looped portion of this cotter pin, and then we will move on to the next step. Gotta put our welding hood onto grinding mode. Make sure you have your proper protective equipment when you're doing this stuff. Down. I'm completely winging this, by the way. I just have something in my mind and we'll see if it comes together. It might be a complete fail, but we'll find out. Got those finished up. Now let's cut off this end of the cotter pin. This is going to be on the door knocker where you hold it with your fingers. Is what this little knob is going to be. Now the ends that we're cutting off of this cotter pin we're going to save for later. Once we get oxygen back in our oxygen tank and we can hook up the oxypropane torch, we're going to start doing more blacksmithing projects. But for now, we're just stuck to welding projects until we get that done. From what I looked up, this should be really good high carbon steel. So that'll come in handy for knives and other stuff later on. This is kind of the idea that I have. We're going to have the horseshoe that's going to be mounted to the wall. It's going to hinge at the top, knock like that. I'm thinking on the inside of the 2 horseshoes, we're going to have the head of the railroad spike. This is going to be the part you grab with your fingers to knock. And then this chain is what we're going to make the hinge out of. Let's cut off the head of this railroad spike and get a general idea of how that's going to fit together. We're going to cut off from the head moving down the shank. It's going to be fairly short. I'm going to say about 1 inch. So to secure this to the wooden door or whatever you're going to be putting this door knocker on, we're going to need a back plate with holes drilled in it so that we can attach it to the door. We're going to take this piece of flat strap. It's about 1/8 inch thick. Put it on this end of the horseshoe. Mark it right here with soapstone. Cut that with the cutoff wheel. Drill 2 holes. And then weld that onto that backing horseshoe. Right there. That. Now we'll cut that with the cutoff wheel. So this plate is going to be welded flush with the back of this horseshoe right here on the inside. I'm going to go in for one side, keep it in the center from top to bottom, about 1/2 inch, and I'll come in 1/2 inch and centered from top to bottom on the other side as well. And we'll mark that with the punch, then we'll take it over to the drill press and drill out those holes with a 1/4 inch drill bit. Again, the lighting is horrible in here, but this is what we got to work with. Get that secured in the drill press. Make sure to use plenty of cutting fluid. Now we got to do one more. And that one's bad. Hopefully you guys can hear what I'm saying to you. Let's hit both of these horseshoes with the wire wheel, get them cleaned up, and then we'll start working on welding everything together. Before we do that, we probably need to cut the chain and get that all situated. But we'll start off with this. Now for the chain, it's going to be used as a hinge. We're going to keep two links together, cut. We want to have two sets of two links. One set. Second set. We have the welder hooked up. We're using 6010 welding rod, 1/8 inch. The amps are at 85 amps. We have the chain inside of the ground clamp. Now we're going to weld the chain to the top of the horseshoe. After I get both sides done, I'll turn it around and show you what that looks like. Gotta put it back on welding mode. I just blinded myself. This is what we got going on. Okay. The backing plate that we drilled 2 holes through, let's weld this onto the back of this. Off the ground. That looks pretty good. There we go. Okay, this piece, we're going to put this aside now, and we're going to weld on the little handle onto the front of this horseshoe, and we're going to weld on the head of this railroad spike onto the back. Using your welding rod. Tack it in place, and then once we have it tacked, we'll weld all the way around. Now let's weld the handle on. We now have the head of the railroad spike welded on and the top of that cotter pin onto this piece. Now we're going to weld these two pieces together at this hinge point where the chain is. So let's try to get that figured out. So it looks like I'm gonna have to wedge something in between these two pieces in order for it to stay. Let me see what I can do. Just want to make sure you have everything lined up where it needs to be. Hook up the ground. Get this other side on. Pain in the butt. This is where we're at now. We have everything welded together. Turned out really nice. Now I'm going to hook up the wire wheel, and we're going to clean all of it off. Put this back on grinding mode. Get this all cleaned up now. Might be better for a lot of us just to use the wire brush. Alright, now that we have that done, let's give it a good paint. And we'll move on from there. There we go, you guys. The Western style door knocker made out of horseshoes, chain link, and railroad hardware. Give you guys a bit of a close-up. Thanks again for following me along. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing more horseshoe projects just like this. Again, any suggestions for future videos, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.